Today we're talking about Robert Kiyosaki's market crash predictions, real estate developer predicting a Black Swan event, Fannie Mae giving their take on consumer sentiment in the housing market, and what repayment of student loans could mean for the broader market. All in this week's recap of real estate news. Robert Kiyosaki is talking about Airbnb leading the real estate market crash. He's issuing a dire warning saying that the crash is the best time to get rich. He thinks this is the biggest bargain that he sees on the real estate market. Now, the decline in Airbnb listings could impact the housing market. Recently, there have been bans on the regulations and the rules of how Airbnbs are conducted, especially in New York City. There's been decreased demand for short-term rentals, which may lead to oversupply. The potential decrease in property values could help buyers and benefit them from a potential real estate market crash should that come to fruition. Now, lower property prices could present really good buying opportunities, and Kiyosaki believes it's a good time for those looking for new homes or rental properties. He says Airbnb is to lead the real estate crash. The best time to get rich is in a crash, says Kiyosaki. Sellers might face a challenge in a market where there's fewer Airbnb rentals available. Reduced demand for investment properties and the potential need to adjust pricing could help attract buyers, but it could also affect the bottom line for a seller. Now, another news article from Newsweek. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, please go ahead and drop a like on the video so it helps more people see content just like this. Thank you so much for watching, and back to the video. Sean Terry, a former Marine and founder of Flip to Freedom, discussing the current housing market, discusses that there could be a potential Black Swan event that leads to changing in home prices. In the housing market right now, there's a combination of elevated home prices and high interest rates that are a potential concern and could impact the broader market. There hasn't been a whole lot of inventory because everyone that has a home is putting on a rate lower than 6%, so there's no incentive to sell. Now, there was a 0.25 basis point increase that was announced by the Federal Reserve in July, and that was one of the most significant levels in 22 years. This is the 11th interest rate hike in the past 12 central bank policy meetings. The Federal Reserve's goal to bring down inflation from the current rate of 3.18% to 2% is the big factor for this. The possibility of additional interest rate hikes are definitely in the near future, as we are still trying to get that inflation number down. Generally, higher interest rates can lead to lower housing prices, and that generally could benefit potential buyers. Although you're making more payments each month due to the interest, by the time the interest rates come down and you refinance, as a buyer, you could be saving money each month at that point. So right now you might be buying, to meet your specific monthly quota, your monthly goal, and keep that price in a certain budget. But once the rates come down, now your budget opens up because you could potentially pay less for your mortgage. So right now you might be buying, to meet your specific monthly quota, your monthly goal, and keep that price in a certain budget. But once the rates come down, now your budget opens up because you could potentially pay less for your mortgage due to lower interest rates. Terry thinks that there's going to be a Black Swan event in the housing market in the next 6 to 8 months. Back in 2006, there were massive foreclosures and a giant economic crisis. Sean Terry's observation of a similar, even larger spread in the current housing market suggests a potential bubble. The 2.2% decrease in home purchases in July reported by the National Association of Realtors is another point to that. Now, that lowering percentage does attribute to the decrease to unfavorable inventory availability and high mortgage rates. But there is a stark contrast between homeowners who have little concern about price declines and renters who are facing affordability challenges. This is one of the main causes of the housing market problem that we're experiencing today, and it could worsen. But it's important to outline that the housing market problem is rooted in limited supply. The shortage of 4 to 5 million housing units in America in 2019 due to population and job growth. And of course, the shortage only worsened as the COVID-19 real estate boom, as homeowners were reluctant to sell due to low interest rates. Now, there are two possible scenarios for the future, and NAR's chief economist Lawrence Yun mentions this. Now, scenario one that he outlines is a calming in the economy and inflation could lead to modestly lower interest rates, more buyers entering the market. Scenario two is an economic recession leading to job losses and forced sellings of homes, potentially causing lower interest rates. But we do need to remember how this is different from before is there are no risky subprime mortgages, no massive oversupply, which is completely different from the previous crash. Now, there is an upcoming FOMC meeting on September 19th through the 20th, and we still have yet to see what will come from that meeting. Fannie Mae wrote an article about unusual housing market dynamics contributing to a stall in consumer sentiment. Fannie Mae has a Home Purchase Sentiment Index, or HPSI, to understand how it's affecting the housing market, both buyers and sellers. They mentioned that consumer confidence is stuck on a low-level plateau. The HPSI has remained virtually unchanged in August. Consumer confidence towards housing has been stagnant for a while. This lack of confidence is affecting both sellers and buyers in the market. In August, 66% of consumers felt it's a good time to sell a home, while only 18% thought it's a good time to buy. The wide gap in sentiment impacts the dynamics of the housing market. Buyers face a challenging market with limited affordable options. Mortgage rate expectations: only 18% of consumers expect mortgage rates to go down in the next 12 months. Many are expecting that these mortgage rates will stay high for the next few years. Mortgage rates are contributing to pessimism among buyers. High rates are making homes less affordable, especially for first-time home buyers. And as far as sellers go, existing homeowners are still holding on to their home. Now, they do go on to point out that sellers may benefit from this trend as long as demand remains strong. The market is in a very unusual situation, and there is still rapid home price appreciation happening. Rising mortgage rates are creating a divide in consumer perspectives. So if you're someone who owns a home, you're probably feeling pretty good about keeping on to it because you feel that the prices are only going to continue to elevate. And keep in mind, there's a lot of equity that people have right now because of how these interest rates have turned. The prices have stayed relatively stable in a lot of markets. So there's still a lot of equity that people are sitting on right now. Now, home builders especially have been thriving. There's been a surge for demand in new construction. Now, demographically, Fannie Mae points out that Gen Xers and baby boomers are playing a significant role in the changing market dynamics. Aging in place and the lock-in effect are making it harder for younger buyers to find existing homes. This is pushing demand towards newly constructed homes, and we've seen little change in the percentage of respondents who believe it's a good time to buy. Expectations about home prices and mortgage rates are impacting sentiment. There are concerns about potential job loss and the changing economy, and also other factors that could affect the broader market. Now, another little dynamic that people probably aren't talking too much about is the housing market facing new hurdles from student loan repayments. Fox Business recently published an article titled, "U.S. Housing Market Faces New Hurdle: Student Loan Repayments." The housing market is facing unique challenges with a divided consumer sentiment. Sellers may see benefits as long as the demand remains strong. And of course, we have to stay tuned and continue to track the trends because there's so many varying factors. Another potential obstacle on the horizon in the end of the pandemic era freeze on federal student loan payments impact the housing market. The resumption of student loan payments is expected to have a significant negative impact on the housing market. Most experts believe that home ownership rates will be affected for at least a year, some predicting an even longer impact, at least 3 years. This will add to the challenges faced by the housing market, which has already been dealing with rising mortgage rates and limited availability of homes for sale. The combination of high student loan debt and the rising cost of home ownership can make it more challenging for young and middle-aged buyers to enter the housing market. This scarcity of available homes benefits sellers by keeping home prices high, but it creates a difficult environment for buyers. And it just seems like we're continuing to add on more and more challenges to the housing market, and some people think eventually that's going to cause the market to break. With more than 44 million borrowers affected by the payment pause, the housing market could see a hit of approximately $10 billion a month in resumed loan payments. The housing shortage has driven up prices, making homes less affordable for many potential buyers, with around 38.6% of median household income required for monthly payments on an average home purchase. Now, this situation definitely underscores the need for potential buyers in this demographic to consider their financial situation and priorities when entering the market. This is why I'm suggesting to a lot of buyers to put yourself in the best financial position possible now. If you know that you're going to have to pay an extra $200 to $300 a month, but you want to own real estate, you need to make sacrifices and be willing to take a home that maybe doesn't fit all of your needs. The combination of high student loan debt and the rising cost of home ownership can make it more challenging for young and middle-aged buyers to enter the housing market. This scarcity of available homes benefits sellers by keeping home prices high, but it creates a difficult environment for buyers. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. If you enjoy these types of weekly updates giving you an overall recap of the news in real estate, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll always get a notification whenever I post a new video just like this. And if you found a lot of value in the content today, please go ahead and drop a like, as it really does help this video get out to more people so they can also stay current on the news. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.